How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you've had a great week. Right, we are back. I have not got my hat on, I just realised, but that doesn't matter. I'll go and get it in a minute. Right, today we are going to get the stand for the monitors sorted. I've got another length of wood. I'm going to paint it black. We're going to cut it to length and get it in place and get those monitors looking better. That's the first plan. I've also bought some door stops for both interior doors, so one doesn't go smashing into the drum kit and the other one doesn't smash a hole in the wall. And apart from that, so far I don't know what's after that, so let's get those jobs done first and then I know what I'm going to do from there. Let's do it. Alright then, so I've got the length of wood drying out there in a minute. I've painted it black. It needs a second coat, but it's drying out there in the sun, so it wouldn't take long. Get that sorted. However, I've been in two minds with the L shape of the other desk being over here. Now, it's great because it's a tabletop, but it's not great because obviously it hasn't got two legs, and I've temporarily made two legs. I think I've decided I don't need it in here, and also means if I don't have it in here, I can have room for another chair. Now, I've got another office chair, so I want to stick it in here so I've got 4 decent chairs for people to sit on when over here. So, I think I'm going to take it out, put another chair in there, and then I will utilise the end bit of desk space with a small rack unit for my guitar amp setup and stuff like that. I think that's what I'm going to do. So for the minute, I'm going to take it out and get the other chair in here and see how I get on. And also I'm thinking about hanging my 2 guitars on this wall. I think that's going to work. My original idea was to hang my guitars on the booth wall, but now where the door is, I feel like you just end up scatting your elbow on them every time you walk in, and I don't want to damage the guitars. The other option is to have it down the side here on this wall, my guitars, but I don't think that'll work either. I gotta make some decisions. Have a think, see how we get on. Alright, but while I think about that, let's get these door stops in and sorted. It's a very simple, easy job, nothing interesting to watch, I'm just gonna do it. Alright, a couple of jobs done there. Happy days. We've got the guitars on the wall. They're looking good. I've been in 3, 4, 5, 6 different minds where to put them, which wall to put on them. And my initial idea was to put them on the booth. That's the strongest wall because it's made of ply. And it's also in the background. So if I shoot any video from the back here, they're in the background and it looks good. They're also out the way. So obviously over here now I've got rid of the table. The chair's going to be there. And the last thing I want to do is scat them off the wall with the chair. So it also just frees up a bit of space here. They're out of the way, and there's also plenty of room because the door opens quite wide. There's plenty of room still to get in and out, even with a drum kit in your hand. I like that, it looks good. They're the 2 guitars that I don't gig with often, so they're going to be more like studio guitars now for a bit, but I've got them there. It also means now that they're actually hanging on the wall, which I haven't had my guitars hanging on the wall in years, it means that I'm more likely to play them more often and not just go, oh, I'll get my Telecaster because it's, you know, in the car or in the van from last night's gig or something like that, you know what I mean? I may get some more hooks and then I may put my other guitars, like my Telecasters, down the other wall, around the other side of the booth, out the way, but they're then hooked up and I've got them. Especially if we're doing a load of recording, then we can have all guitars ready to go and I can just have them like, right, okay, I need that for this bit of this and this bit of that for that. Oh, I need this sound, that guitar would be good for that sound, you know what I mean? And we'll go from there. Right, that's good, that's done, I'm happy with that. The cases, I'll find somewhere to hide them and we've got no problems. Alright then, it's time to get the screens mounted on the new bit of wood and it'll tie it in nice because we've already painted it black and it's ready to go. Let's get it fitted. Alright then, that is the new beam in place. Painted matte black, blends in really nice and makes that framework just fit nicely. Got it clamped down. I'm going to move the clamp slightly just because the speakers aren't angled at the right way at the minute, so I'll get that sorted at some point. The power amp that was sat here on the desk, I've moved underneath, and I've put a beam across underneath just for the power amp to sit on out the way and wide up in the middle. Right, that's my phone going again as always. Next job for me now is to get my guitar rig set up so I can practice in here when doing gigs and stuff like that. Beforehand I can just get some guitar practice in and any recording stuff. I just got an amp ready for demos and tracking. Nice. Nice. Okay, we've got noise. Got a little orange amp there, a little micro dark amp. It's a great little amp. I've recorded quite a few things on it actually, but I'm going to use it mostly for tracking, and then use my orange Pro Crush Head 120 that I gig with as my main recording amp. Happy days, wicked. And we are back on another day. How's it going? Right, it's been a few days since I last filmed anything. It's been a manic week. The wedding season is now in full swing, so I've had one of the wedding hires and stuff like that, which is great. Also been gigging with my band, as well as helping my mate start up his new business. So it's been a really busy week. However, as you just saw a second ago, got my guitar amp set up. That is a great little amp, the little orange amp. It's great for tracking stuff. It's great for laying down ideas. I've gigged with it. It can power 4x12. It's a fantastic amp. So I wanted something the equivalent for the bass. Now, so far when I'm recording bass here, I've either been dragging in my gigging bass amp, which is an Ashton Bass 150, old school amp, but it's like the size of a fridge and it weighs the same as a washing machine, which isn't ideal, especially for my back, if I'm using it on a weekly basis, so I'm lumping it in and out of the room, and I don't want to do that. So I wanted something small, compact, just like the orange amp, for the bass as an equivalent, which means I can just plug in, instead of just DIing in, and just dealing with a clean DI, it means if I have something that I can have a bit of grit, or you know, a bit of compression, or you know, an EQ that I can toy with, then that's what I want. So I've been looking around online and I came across the Joyo badass bass amp. It's tiny, it's 50 watts, it's got a full EQ, compression, you know, gain control, etc. like that. It's also got Bluetooth in it, so if I wanted to, I could just Bluetooth a song to it, or my phone to it, and then play along with it. I'm not going to need that thing myself, but it's good. The compression is also switchable on a switch as well. It comes with the amp, which is great. So I thought, why not give it a go? I got it, and I was gigging last night and I was playing bass, so I thought, you know what, let's play that amp instead. And I'll tell you something, it sounded great and it was fantastic. And because I was playing both guitar and bass last night in the band, where me and the other bassist slash guitarist, we just swap depending on whichever song it is. So half a set we play on guitar, half a set we play on the bass. It worked really well. I sat it on top of my rig that I normally gig with, and it was ideal. It's fantastic. So let's get that plugged in and let's see how it sounds in the studio. Nice, I like that. Let's try a bit of gain on it. gives you a really nice level that you don't get no peaks or clips. It's gonna be fun recording this, I think. Bit more gain. That's gain on full whack. Bit more volume. So that's full gain, volume nearly 12 o'clock, compression on. It's keeping it at a really nice level, signal level for recording there. Let's take the comp on a second. Get a bit more to it, don't you? Let's get a plectrum on it. Have I got the cable? Nice, I like it. Happy days. Okay, so obviously there, the audio that you heard from the amplifiers for both guitars is just coming straight out of the speakers into the camera microphone. I will do a more in-depth video in the future on each amplifier. I know they've both been out for a little while now anyway, but I will do a more in-depth video and we'll get the audio directly from the amp into the desk and we'll get that into the video for you. Right. On to the next thing. And we're back on another day. How you doing? Right, okay, so I've been out this afternoon and I've picked up some 100mm thick insulation, the Celotex insulation, which is foil lined each side. We're gonna say it's me, it's always just me. I'm gonna cut them to size to fit the windows exactly. Might do them a little bit bigger so we can definitely get a nice snug fit. I'm gonna wrap them in some black material, and then we can wedge them in behind the curtains, shut the curtains, happy days, and then that will insulate the windows, because at the minute the windows are the weakest point in the whole room. So without that I can't do any loud recording stuff. Right, let's get them unloaded from the trailer. We'll get them out on the grass, I'll cut them to size, we'll get them in, and then I can worry about finding some material and stuff like that, because I cannot store these until they're cut down, and also apparently it's going to rain tomorrow, so I'm going to crack on and do it right now. Let's go. Alright then, the bungs are in. Not the prettiest, I know, on the inside there. You can see the foil side. It doesn't matter. I will probably cover them on the other side at some point. I do want to get a staple gun on them and get them really nicely done. But in the windows, does the job. And if anything, I need it to be soundproof. Even more so. So now they're bunged up, that's great. I will get a drum kit in the booth soon, very soon, and test that out and see how soundproof this whole build is from outside. That'll be good. What we'll do is we'll put the camera outside the door and we'll see what we can hear. Right, I'm going to call it here for this video. Thank you very much for tuning in. It's been a really busy couple of weeks and I feel like I haven't done enough in this room, but I have got quite a lot done still. What have I got next to do? We've got to set the stream setup up and test that. And then I'm going to figure out if I can go through the Wi-Fi or I'm going to have to go through hardwire. Look at the Wi-Fi, it's not even connected right now because I got the bung in the window. I found a problem. Right, okay. Apart from that, have a good week. Take it easy. I will see you next week. I'll figure out something to do. We've got to acoustically treat this room, actually. That must be the next thing to do. Get the acoustic treatment sorted. Right, I'm going to sort this sofa out and stick it back on its feet where it belongs. And have a hoover up and call it a night. Right, take it easy. See you next week. Cheers and gone.